Okay, guys, this is Lagyu, Vakya, Vritti, verse 13 of 18 verses. This person with cognitions is recognized to be cognition-free Brahman. Through the teaching, I am Brahman, that is the main idea being taught. The first line begins with Sanskrit, I am Savikalpa Jiva, while the second line is Brahman Nirvikalpam. I am means this one, not that one. So there's an immediacy with this one. The one that is immediately present in your experience, that is Savikalpa Jiva. This means you, the conscious, thinking person. It's not referring to the body, nor even to the mind, because the mind does not think in itself. The mind is inert. So, in this context, Savikalpa Jiva, it's consciousness with experience. Jiva itself is not strictly the person. Jiva is the mind, body, sense complex and Atma. So that's what consciousness with experience is. You are a conscious being. Sat is conscious in Sanskrit. Being, Chit. And this experience, it's superimposed on consciousness. And what is being described here, it's the conscious being in the presence of experience. This is very important, this word, in the presence of experience. Individual conscious being with experience. That is the meaning of Twam, you. So this can only be consciousness, but it's consciousness with Vritti's mental activities. If there is or was no such thing as experience, then we can't have the discussion about experience. There's some confusion sometimes in Vedanta that people think that mithya, this, what we see around us, doesn't exist. It does exist temporarily. Mithya is temporarily existing, having no independent reality of its own. Satya is that which does not change. And Tukam is that which doesn't exist in Sanskrit. Like Vedanta has the saying, like the elephant in my hand right now. That does not exist. Yeah. That's why we can't talk about the elephant in my hand, because there is no elephant in my hand. But we can talk about experience because we're having experience. Okay. This difference, this Satya, Mithya, and Tukam help us not bypass the world. That's very important as well. So Vedanta, it helps us deal with consciousness, with experience. Vikalpa is experience in Sanskrit, but what about when there is no experience? Nirvikalpa. Nirvikalpa is free from vrittis, mental activities, free from vikalpas, experience. So what is left then is consciousness. And that consciousness is Brahman. That's what this verse is saying. The consciousness that is here now. You something to say, Vicky? So you're off mute.
Can you? Oh no, I want to go to my phone, but there's some trouble. Sorry, I will try again. I will come back.
Okay. Okay. So the consciousness that is here now is Vrittis superimposed on it. Once those, or once the Vrittis are removed, it's Nirvikalpa Chaitanya, unconditioned consciousness, pure consciousness. The text says Tan Brahma, Tan Brahma. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. The text says Tan Brahma, that Nirvikalpa Chaitanyam is Brahman, that unconditioned consciousness is Brahman, which is the reality of all. We have to understand this. Brahman is the reason why everything exists. It must be the reason why your consciousness exists. So, your consciousness is the consciousness of Brahman. How could it not be? Your Sat existence in Sanskrit is the Satyam of Brahman. Your Chit consciousness is the Jnanam of Brahman. Your consciousness, the person's consciousness, is the Jnanam of Brahman. Your Ananda, limitlessness, is the Anantam, infinitude of Brahman. There is something ironic with this, that everybody seeks the truth of the universe, Brahman, but do we find the truth of the universe out there? The ancient rishis, they tried this, but they discovered that the truth of the universe can't be found out there. It can only be found in here. But that might surprise you, because doesn't the truth of the universe have to be everywhere? Huh? So what's the problem with looking out here? It can't not be here. It has to be here. Brahman has to be here. Brahman has to be here. Brahman has to be here. It's just that it's easier to find here. It's easier to find within. So this is what the ancient rishis discovered. They wanted to understand everything. So how did they do that? They sat down and closed their eyes. By looking outside, we find details. But if we look within, there's a hope of finding Brahman. And this is quite, Swami Ratmananda says, this is quite remarkable, that the truth will never be discovered out there. It will only be discovered here, now, in this experience. And now we're getting to a really, really important part of the verse. This is very important for enlightenment. Brahman is present in this experience as unconditioned consciousness underlying your conditioned experience. In the absence of the details of this experience, there is Nirvikalpa Chaitanya, pure consciousness. So the approach in this text is a bit different from other texts. In gaining Brahmanyanam, In Vedanta, we start by saying that Brahman is the underlying reality of which everything is. So what happens then? Our attention goes out. Our attention goes out. So we go looking around for the basis of that which everything exists. Vedanta makes it worse by introducing Maya. That makes it really complicated, and we get caught up in philosophical thinking and complicated thoughts. But that's not how you discover Brahman. It's how you understand what Brahman is. It's how you will get a conceptual understanding, but it only tells you more about the universe than it does Brahman. That's why the Sampradaya, the teaching tradition, is needed. For the teacher uses a teaching prakya called Adharipa Apavada, deliberate superimposition, deliberate introduction of dualistic Dvaita teachings to set the stage, and then Apavada, de-superimposition, taking away of those teachings. The goal is to know Brahman directly, not abstractly, not in a non-abstract manner. And the only way to know Brahman is by looking within. In the third line, we see the words, I'm having to talk fast one at a time. In the third line, we see the words, Aham Brahma, I am Brahman in Sanskrit. And this Mahavakya is Aham Brahmasmi. But what does Aham refer to? It can't refer to your roles, responsibilities, and duties. It can't refer to the mind or the senses. It refers to you, a conscious being, having an experience. This is Aham, I am. And then it goes on to say, Aham Brahma, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. So experiences come and go. Waves come and go. But the water remains unchanged. Yes? Water remains water in waves. Doesn't matter what kind of waves you are. Similarly, in the presence of experience, do you stop being Brahman? In the presence of a wave, does water cease being water? No. In the presence of a wave, does water change its fundamental nature? No. The wave has form, but water is formless. In the presence of the pot, does clay change its nature? No. Clay remains clay. So think of clay as being formless. You have formless clay in the form of a pot. The pot is form and clay is formless. That's why clay is both the pot and the cup and the plate and the bowl. Yeah, clay is formless, but the pot, plate, cup, and bowl are form. Okay, this is where we make the discrimination, the Viveka, the distinction. Swami Taratmananda poses a trick question. Does clay lose its formlessness when it's in the form of a pot? Clay is the underlying reality of the pot. Clay can't change its nature, even in the presence of pot. Clay itself remains formless. Clay is not affected by pot. Water is not affected by wave. Nirvalkalpa Chaitanyam, unconditioned consciousness, is Brahman, pure consciousness without any experience superimposed on it. Right now, there is many experiences going on at the same time, many Vidkalpas. So we have a question. Is the complexity of this experience negating Nirvalkalpa Brahman in this experience? Is the complexity of this experience negating pure consciousness, unconditioned consciousness in this experience? Since clay remains formless in the presence of form and water remains formless in the presence of a wave, in the same way, consciousness remains Nirvalkalpa without attributes, unconditioned, even in the presence of Vikalpa, even if in the presence of conditioning, even in the presence of attributes. Water is, or waves is conditioned, wave has attributes, but water is still present there without attributes. Okay, the wave and the water is separate here. Consciousness remains formless even in the presence of form. It doesn't change. And this is because the forms are superimposed on the substance without changing the underlying substance. Pot is superimposed on clay without changing clay. Waves is superimposed on water without changing water. Objects around us are superimposed on consciousness without changing consciousness. Okay? So, and a very simple point is being made here. Brahman is presence in the absence of the kalpa, experience and mental activities. Brahman is presence in the absence of experience and mental activities. And Brahman is equally present in the presence of experience and mental activities. Okay. Doesn't matter if there's experience or not, mental activities or not, Brahman is present. The clay is present even if there's no pot. The water is present even if there's no wave. Okay. Consciousness is present no matter what. The presence of experience, Vikalpa, does not negate Brahman. The presence of a wave does not negate water. Brahman exists as your consciousness in the absence of experience. Brahman exists as your consciousness in the presence of experience. Okay? There's no way around this. It's very, 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 very simple. So you can say with authority, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Aham is Savalkapa Jiva. That's consciousness. This is consciousness with experience. Make it more immediate. Not that. This. This is consciousness with experience. This consciousness with experience is Brahman. Clay with a pot form, it's still clay. Yeah? Your consciousness with Vikalpa experience is still Nirvikalpa Brahman, pure, unconditioned consciousness. It does not change. Your consciousness with attributes is still Brahman with no attributes. And this Jnanam is crucial for enlightenment. This is the Mahavakya, the great contemplation, Aham Brahmasmi. It's the entire vision of Vedanta. In line 3, just checking the time, guys. Sorry if they speak so fast, I've run out of time. Line 3 is Aham Brahmati Vakya Anna. By means of this Vakya, that is the meaning which is intended to be expressed by all the Mahavakyas. In this manner, by this statement, to reveal your true nature and also to reveal Brahman. That's why it's Aham Brahmasmi. Aham, I am Brahman. Okay, it's twinning the I consciousness, the identity of I with Brahman, with everything that is. Okay, it's very important. Other Mahavakyas do the same. I am Atma Brahma. Atma is Brahman. Atma is Brahman. Tatvamasi. Say the same thing. So, do we reveal Brahman through some philosophical discussion? How is Brahman revealed? It's through the truth of yourself. That's how the Mahavakya work. It works by revealing Brahman as the truth of yourself, Nirvikalpa Chaitanya, unconditioned consciousness. How separate is the wave from unconditioned water? Not at all. How separate is pot from unconditioned formless clay? Not at all. Clay is Nirvikalpa, water is Nirvikalpa, you are Nirvikalpa. Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, guys? Sorry for the rush. Just ran out. It zooms a pain in the backside sometimes. Any questions? Just less than a minute. Speed questions. We heard of speed dating. Let's do speed questions. Boom, boom, boom.
Just ask me. Is ask me? Does that mean M? I am N?
What? Sorry.
Asmi, Aham Brahm Asmi. Aham is N.
I don't know what I would have to check what the Asmi means. I don't know.
Okay.
Aham is of course I, and Brahman is of course Brahman. So I don't know. I'd have to check. Guys, we've run out of time. Okay, so speak again soon. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye 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 bye.
Bye.